I'm so sorry. This is awful, but it does prove the fact that a lot of people are getting laid off in this world right now, not because of their value, not because of their input, not because of how hard of workers they are, but because it helps the business's bottom lines. After looking at the comments on the last video that I made that went viral, there are half the people in the chat being like, I understand that the economy plays a huge factor here, and they understand that usually it's not about the worker. But the other 50% of people are blaming. They're like, it's your fault. You probably weren't a good worker. You probably weren't valued. You probably weren't qualified. It is already true that we do not have enough jobs in the United States to support the amount of people that are unemployed. And you can assume, based on the mass amount of layoffs happening at these massive companies that only hire good talent, that a lot of those people are overly qualified and yet they're still not getting jobs. That report was made and confirmed by this administration, the same administration that spends millions of taxpayer dollars per year going golfing when they could be spending it on job training programs. How much work does he actually get done on the golf course, you guys? This is how many times that he's been this year. And this is how many times he went in his last administration. If we're going to talk about slacking off, people not being like qualified for the job, people not doing the work that they need to be doing, we need to talk about this administration.
Yeah, I saw this news and I'm like, we ain't lazy. They just trying to set us up, man. Shit is sad.
Hi friends. I'm literally in my pajamas, so I'm not sure if I'm going to post this, but I'd like to document me crashing out over how many interviews I've been doing. And not a single offer. Mind you, no rejections, just like an endless process. Just an endless process. I cannot believe so far a company filled the position after I passed the interview and we're like, sorry. A company just had like their people not show up like to the interview. Like I just get on the Zoom call and they're not there, so we have to like reschedule that have been perpetually rescheduling. Some recruiter like set up a call with me and I was really excited because it's a cool company, and then just canceled it, like canceled the calendar invite. And then I messaged her, I was like, hey, like, can we set up something else? Ghost. I'm not in the space to be mad, like whatever. I think things happen for a reason. At the end, something is gonna work out. But I'm just actually really exhausted and delirious because I've been studying so much and I've just like my sleep schedule got flipped and I'm drinking coffee a lot and like I'm not able to sleep the past couple nights. I just haven't been able to sleep. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like the coffee is catching up to me or what, because I don't know. I can't sleep. I'm not feeling well. And I have interviews like every single day this week. I'm just tired. I don't know why I'm complaining. I'm tired, but it's gonna be fine. I just like, my stomach physically hurts right now for how much coffee I'm drinking, but if I don't drink the coffee, I won't be able to focus on studying because I haven't been able to sleep. And it's this just horrible cycle. And it's just like, it's just annoying that it's been so long that I'm interviewing, and because like the recruiters keep messing up, I haven't like had a solid answer on anything yet. Whatever, I know everybody else is struggling. It's not just me. It's just a bad time for the market. It's just kind of like, okay, bye.
Layoffs are going to keep happening, and I want to talk about this. Tap in, money friends. You always want to make sure you like this video, save it, follow for more. Stay tuned for the next couple months. There's going to be some good stuff on here for you, but I want to talk about this because did y'all know that in 2025 alone, there's been a little over 806,000 layoffs already. And I want to share a personal experience because when I went through layoffs, I got laid off December 2nd. So in the fourth quarter, historically, that is a massive time for layoffs. But it was the Salesforce CEO for me. So not only did he just confirm 4,000 layoffs, but look at this comment. Like, you could have just kept this to yourself, bro. We get it. Because I need less heads with AI. Y'all, if there is no clearer writing on the wall, it is 2025. Job security has always been an illusion. It is even more of an illusion now that we've been sold to believe that companies will maintain their loyalty. Back in the day, it was expected that people could stay at companies 30, 40, 50 years. Today, we don't operate in the same time. And, you know, my heart goes out to the people that are losing their jobs. That is not anything that you ever want to personally experience or want other people to experience, but it is a part of business. And sadly, in 2025, a very huge part of business. When you start to understand business in general, employees are a company's biggest expense. So even though it seems really personal, businesses are going to do what they have to do. And so here's my call to action to you if you're listening to this. There has never been a better time for you to put yourself in a position where you are taking more control of your income, where you're learning skill sets in industries that are really recession proof. Like when I think of financial services, for example, we are coming across the biggest wealth transfer we've ever seen before. You guys will go through my videos and hear me say that over and over, and it's for a reason. But we're also in and coming up to what's called the silver tsunami, where more than 30% of financial advisors over the next 10 years are going to phase out of the industry. What that means is there's going to be a lot of unmanaged money and a lot of orphan clients. But what that means for you is massive opportunity, not only to learn how money really works, but to get state and federal credentials that at the end of the day, people don't want their entire life savings being managed by AI. Like at the end of the day, computers are computers. People still want someone they can trust to help them navigate their financial lives. And so I want to encourage you, let's connect. Let's talk about opportunity. While there's so many layoffs going on, y'all, we're expanding like crazy. We're expanding in all 50 states. If you're over the age of 18 and you have a willingness to learn, we will make sure we get you fully licensed. We'll make sure that you get all the training that you need, but you cannot give somebody the desire to want to win, the desire to want freedom. I wanted to be in this industry to do the right thing for people and do what's right all the time, but also to have full freedom in building a life that we can build as a family around the things that we value. And something that I value is my time, being present for my babies, building those core memories, doing all of those things, but also participating in the free enterprise system, right? Participating in a system that doesn't tell me that I'm worth $50 an hour, or a system that can say at any point in time, hey, we don't need you anymore. And so building this business has been the best decision me and my husband could have ever made. And if that's something that is an interesting conversation to you, let's connect. Comment info below, because y'all, this is literally still in the midst of what we're still going to keep seeing in terms of layoffs. And you and your family deserve to build something that no one can take from you.
Look at this. Look at this. 300,000 more employees to be laid off. 300,000 more federal employees to be laid off before the end of the year, in addition to what Doge laid off. Let's talk about how those layoffs have gone. FAA, planes crashing, rehired people but now begging for people. FDA, we've got all kinds of stuff in our food right now. The toxic shrimp. Veterans are having a hard time getting in due to staffing reductions all throughout the United States. Just Google it. So 300,000 more federal employees to be laid off. Now, if you did not know, we just hit an all-time high of job unemployment, the first time since COVID 2021. So 300,000 more layoffs in DC. DC is on the brink or in a recession. Restaurants are, and they have the highest unemployment right now. Layoffs are coming fast and furious. Please get your finances in order. You can also check warntracker.com to see if you are getting laid off.
So my boss got laid off. This is the third manager I've had. All at different companies, by the way. All at different companies. The third manager I've had has gotten laid off. And I have somehow survived and have had survivor's guilt. 2 of those times I actually ended up getting let go afterwards. Just know that if you have employment issues, girl, you're not alone. Layoffs are not over. They're not over. I've been desensitized. I don't know what the execute.
I just got laid off from my job and I get married in 30 days. It's pretty crazy, but I thought I would talk about it on here. And yeah, get ready with me to talk about how I got laid off right before my wedding. I am getting married in a month and I am currently unemployed, and this was not on my bingo card whatsoever. It's my first day being officially unemployed, and just let's get ready together and I will talk about it, I guess. I'm obviously trying to see the silver lining of, the stars aligning. What does this mean? Where am I going? But I'm honestly still in shock, and I've received so many positive comments and so much support from my family and my friends, but I've just been really anxious. I hate not knowing what the plan is and what I'm working towards, and I'm not even so upset about being laid off. I'm just more anxious to have to navigate the job market and entering my married life unemployed. I don't know. I did not expect to be an unemployed wife after getting married, so that's different. So yeah, I just can't believe that I'm 30 days out from my wedding and literally just
lost my job. That's so crazy. If I'm being honest, I don't have a ton of wedding planning left to do. Things are in a really good place. I'm really organized. We have been way ahead of schedule because I knew I would be working like up until the wedding, so that's kind of funny. Yeah, I guess I just have to like navigate this. My layoff conditions are a bit nuanced, so I won't be looking for a new job right away. I am just going to enjoy my unemployment era, get married, and then think about all of the responsibilities that I need to do when I get back. I was just saying this to some friends and my fiance last night, but I don't think I have had more than 2 weeks off fully unplugged from working since 2019, which is crazy. Ever since I started my corporate girly era, I was always somewhat plugged into my job, and I have taken time off, but I always had access to my emails on my phone. I was always available. I was always stressed to come back to work, hoping that things moved along or like things were getting done. I think maybe I had 1 solid week of being fully unplugged in 2023, but that's just not good. So I am excited to just be fully disconnected and not have to think about work or anything else besides the present and our wedding. So I'm seeing that as a bit of a silver lining. I'll never get this much time back to myself ever again, likely in my life. I'll get a job again, I'll have kids eventually, so I'm going to bask in all of this new time that I have. I'm not really sure what is going to happen or where I'm going to go, but I'm just trying my best to just ride this wave and kind of document this. I love when people share their journeys and all of that. And if you guys don't know, I do work on like the brand side of influencer marketing, and so I'm just so fascinated by this industry. I love making fun little content as a hobby, but now with all of this spare time, who knows what will happen. Maybe I'll just like document these next 30 days of being unemployed before my wedding. That could be interesting. I still have some dress appointments and little things to finish up. But if you are still watching this far, as of right now, I'm like 5 minutes in. I don't do these types of videos because I just keep talking. I'm also getting married in Mexico, so I've shared a little bit about my wedding on here, but I will definitely start sharing more and, share my journey of having a destination wedding and what that looks like. It's pretty crazy to get laid off a month before your wedding, but at the same time, I'm just trying to enjoy this extra time. And just thanks so much for staying this long and watching this video. I just hope that, someone can resonate with this, and hopefully I can just take you guys along for my destination wedding journey, and I'm excited to potentially share more in here. So yeah, bye guys.
Do you remember me saying get your passport back in November and December? Well, the State Department just laid off thousands of workers today. Who processes passport applications and renewals? Oh, that's right, the State Department. At least 1,300 people got notified that they were being laid off or terminated today, Friday, July 11th. And there are rumors of upwards of 3,000 total job cuts across the board. This is massive, and it's all been made possible by the recent Supreme Court ruling, shocking, allowing the Trump administration's RIF, or reduction in force, to actually take place. This is the first mass layoff we've seen since that ruling, and it impacts the entire department. Everything from administrative civil servants, the ones processing passport applications or renewals, to foreign service. Yeah, the people who are actually stationed overseas in our embassies and consulates to assist Americans abroad or those wishing to come to the United States. Yeah, they got let go too. This is a massive blow to the federal workforce and honestly to the United States of America, because it's likely going to make wait times for passports, adoptions, or people needing assistance abroad longer.
So you're gonna hear some buzzing in the background. It's just my neighbor's air condition. So today was a fantastic day. I got a, hey, let me know when you can chat ping from Vice President. Told her that I was available anytime. And then within 2 minutes, I got a Teams call from her, as well as another person whom I've never spoken to within the company. So at that point, kind of knew it wasn't going to be the best call. And it started off with, so I know this is going to be a tough call. And I just kind of stopped her right there and was like, okay, this is not how we're ending things. Like, just rip the Band-Aid off and tell me what you need to tell me. Like, I don't need the fluff. So I was told, after 10 years with the company, moving up about 3 or 4 position levels, that I was being terminated. My position was going to be eliminated as of not even 30 days from here. I proceeded with asking, the questions everybody else does, why, how, who, what. And the response given to me about the why, projected numbers, we weren't hitting them. We're not seeing the revenue. We're not getting the client list that we had expected. So when I brought to their attention that, I have 0 write-ups, I'm not on a PIP, I have nothing like that. Like, what was the reasoning for me? And they just continued to tell me that, unfortunately, this was a business decision.
So this is why I am having a really hard time with dealing with executive compensation. The $12.99 million is total compensation. So Sherwin-Williams is publicly traded. You can go to the sec.gov under Edgar, EDGAR, and view their proxy statement. So any company that does public trading, so if they have a ticker symbol, if they do stock, like with the New York Stock Exchange, you can look them up because they have to file a form called a proxy statement every year. It's also called a DEF 14A. In my world in compensation, I have completed this for companies in the past. It is a lot of work and it sucks, believe me. But when it comes to executive compensation, we see these numbers and we say, okay, that's a lot of money. But in reality, they don't see this. And here's the kicker. Most of this money is in stock, long-term incentive plan. It might be in a short-term incentive plan. There might be some options. They don't get that money right away. And for executive compensation, when you are looking at the years in which they might be awarded those dollars, and then when the performance of the company gets completed at the end of the year, and this is not me like making excuses, but if this company is going through a challenging time where they're cutting costs, hiring freezes, no promotions, they're telling people that they can't work overtime, and then they're taking away 401k match, they're probably going through some type of financial hardship, which tells me that the CEO will likely not get the options. So it's awarded, or the stock is awarded, but because of performance, and performance is so bad, it won't be given to them. Now, like I said, it's still a lot of money, like millions of dollars. Base salary for Heidi, I believe, is $1.3 million. Now, I did look at the 2025 proxy, and the $1.3 million was a 44% increase from 2024. So if that tells you anything, it is still a pile of dog poo compared to, using that money for other employees when it just simply sucks. But in case you're curious, you can do this for any company. You can go look online to see what they make. I encourage people to do it. When I teach my Total Rewards class, I show my students how to do this. I can do it through TikTok if you're curious, if anybody's curious on how to pull a proxy form, how to read it. Most of the time, I like to say,
You don't need to, make things up. If you're looking to enhance your compensation philosophy or strategy, if you want to see what other companies are doing, within the proxy statement, there is a ton of language on how they do what they do, why they do what they do, and the reasoning behind it. They will also give you information about the performance measures. So it's so hard when you look at this number and you're like, well, that sucks. Like, why don't they give that to the employees? And don't get me wrong, a 44% increase from 24 to 25 is a lot, and absolutely ridiculous. And in my opinion, like, I've never gotten above a 3% increase. So there's that, but it is very unlikely that this person will get stock, or they will get the performance for this year and probably for the next year as well, because things are a long-term game, right? It's usually some type of vesting. You can do vesting 3 years, 5 years. I didn't really read too much into their proxy statement, but executive comp is a totally different world than employee compensation. I'm learning more about it, but I'm having a hard time. Yeah.
I was laid off of my job. I've never been fired from a job, and I've been working since I was 14. I've almost been in the company for 4 years. I was coming up on 4 years in November. And really, I thought I was on a path to getting promoted and hitting my goals. It obviously was nothing to do with me. It's restructuring. I guess corporate America's favorite word. I just don't feel great. I know it's gonna be fine. Whatever people say. I don't know. But it is what it is. So, anyways, I guess I'll be joining the I Got Laid Off TikTok community. So I'm really excited. And maybe I'll just start TikToking my life in the meantime. Maybe that will help me do shit. Even though I feel like an absolute piece of fucking trash at the moment. Not really. I do. I don't. I'm a mess. Ugh. Anyways. Fuck me sideways.
I will be losing my job after September 30th. I don't know if I'm gonna be laid off. I don't know if I'm gonna end up finding something before then within the same room. But I am not the only one that's gonna be laid off. In my department alone, by the way, before we start, I work for Miami-Dade County, local government. And I just want to bring awareness to what's going on, because I don't see this in the news. I don't see this on Google News. I don't see it on the TV, our local news. I don't see this information anywhere. So I had no idea this was coming. We had no idea this was coming. And now we are being faced with being laid off on September 30th. We are expected to get a letter soon, probably within the next 7 days, letting us know our next step, basically, if we're going to be laid off, demoted, with that pay, with the demotion pay, not the pay that we was getting before, or put on part-time, or sent here or there. I don't know. When I tell y'all I'm so confused right now, I think I'm hurt more because of how confused I am. So all of a sudden, abruptly, I get a notice to come to a meeting. And I didn't make it to that meeting because I was really sick. And I didn't even know it was going to be a meeting. Listen, the meeting was called late at the last minute, like a real true emergency. So it was for the next day though. But I didn't see none of that, so I didn't know anything about it. So the weekend went by and I was told that we had to come to the meeting if we missed the meeting, which was me. So I go to the meeting and I see a bunch of HR people lined up and my bosses, like my big bosses, and I'm looking like, what's going on here? So they go to tell us that we will be impacted by budget cuts. And It's not just we, like our entire department, the entire department. And then I'm not even gonna get on that yet, but the entire department is going to be impacted by budget cuts. So I'm still quiet. So then they say, if you haven't been here for 5 years, you're not invested, whatever the case is, you will be a part of that impact. And just so it's happened, I just left from my teaching career of 6 years to come and work for the local government. And a lot of people might want to say, why did I do that? Whatever. But it was just more free. Like, I don't know. It was something. I wanted a different scenery, so I did what I had to do. I could easily go back to teaching. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do, but I can go back. So anyway, they tell us they're going to put some new positions up there. We can apply. Some of them will be full-time, some of them will be part-time. Make sure that we are eligible not eligible. We're qualified. We are qualified to work those positions. So my problem is, it's in my department, they're laying off the managers. In my department, my little division, whatever, they're laying off the managers because the managers are easy to cut and have one manager for several employees at the same location. Like, you know, they see it like, why would you need 2 managers at the same location when one manager could manage everybody? And I get that. And I agree. Because when I first got there, that's what I thought it was. And then I come to find out it was 2 managers. And I was like, why? And I was over these little group of people, and that person was over the other group of people. So that was just, weird or whatever. But neither here or there, I didn't create the wheel, and I wasn't trying to recreate it because I was involved anyway, right? So all of a sudden, somebody get the bright idea that, yeah, it need to be one manager, and they control all of those people at that location. No shit, Sherlock. But in the process, families, hundreds of families. I'm not bringing this to y'all because it's just me and my little tiny department. That's a total of 50 people, I think, in my department. Salaries being taken alone. And I don't know how much they get paid or whatever, but right there is probably like, about $1 million, 1.5 million. And then it's probably way more than that. I said 50, huh? I don't know. But anyway, it's millions of dollars. So by millions of dollars, so that's one department. And they just, when we was asking questions, nobody know why. Nobody know how. And I come to y'all with this, not to only bring awareness, but I like to know how. I like to know why. And to just be abruptly taken from my comfort zone when I wasn't even looking for a job, it bothers me. And I'm wondering, is this even possible? Can you just scream budget cuts and just let hundreds and thousands of programs and employees just go like that? Can you just do that? And who is it to benefit? It's not going to benefit us in the long run. We already know that. So who is it benefiting? Then I turn around and I do more research all to find out that my county is funding the World Cup next year. And it will really hurt me to find out that I got cut from my job so a motherfucker could play soccer. Now, I'm not saying soccer is not a good sport or none of that. What I'm saying is, if it's not broken, what's there to fix? You gonna cut all these fucking people off, all to turn around and watch soccer and have a cold heart about it? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I had a certain respect for our mayor here in Miami-Dade County until this happened.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.